Guys, this is video 2 of our continuation from our recap of class 1. Okay, so the first video is out. It is on YouTube for our class channel. It's set up as private, so I think you have to accept my invitation that I sent you all into the circle, for the Google circle for this class, and then you will be able to view the videos. I sent everyone, based off of the web address that you guys gave me after Saturday's class, you should be receiving an email to that web address saying, hey, you're invited to join the circle. You join my circle, and then you'll be connected, and all of the world will be wonderful again. Okay. Again, well, not really again, because I didn't mention that. I am having some type of sinus issues, so if you hear me clear my throat and stuff like that, I'm apologize up front. But you know, with our weather, that's just how things go. All right, so in the first video, we went over the HTML introduction, and we went over HTML editors. Now we're going to probably recap some of that, but we're going to go into HTML basics. So this is actually chapter 3 from W3C site under Learn HTML. Okay, so in this example, in this chapter, it talks about HTML documents. All HTML documents must start with a type declaration, which we talked about in the last video, which was the doc type HTML, which is this one right here. And this one tells us that it is HTML5. The HTML document itself begins with the tag for HTML, which is the start tag, and then of course it closes with that closing tag. The visible part of the HTML document, of course, again, just to recap, is in between the body area. So all of this is what's actually viewable inside of the HTML document. Headings, again, I mentioned this in the last video. The headings go from H1 to H6, and it goes in a hierarchy. So H1 being the largest, all the way down to H6 being the smallest. And then we talked about paragraph. What is a paragraph tag as such? Just to show you, I'm going to copy this H1 here. I just want to show you actually what, you know what I just did right now. I just want to show you what, sorry, the other H1 tags will do, as I showed you in class, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it just to show you on the video too. Okay, so if I do H3, I'm going to do the same exact sentence. Copying and pasting it. H4. H5. You will quickly see the hierarchy. H6. And actually, I'm going to put another H1 up there just so we can see it all together. I'm going to save this. Then I'm going to find... Okay, so now I did see this on the video, and I know it is blurry. I apologize. I will have to figure out how to fix that. But what you should be able to see is that this is larger and it's getting smaller as it goes down, all the way down to H6. Okay. Hopefully this comes in clear in the video. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to zoom it and see if we can, beat this thing. Let's see. All right. So hopefully this isn't so blurry. I've resized it in hopes that it wouldn't be. But in any event, so here's our H1, here's our H2, here's our H3, here's our H4, here's our H5, and here's our H6. So it gets smaller and smaller as it goes along. Okay, I'm going to get rid of those because I don't need them. I only put them there for you guys. So delete. All right. Okay, so we talked about headings, talked about paragraphs, and anytime you do a paragraph, it's kind of cool too because if you think about it, the markup kind of matches what it's for. P stands for paragraph, pretty easy. H1 stands for heading 1, H2 heading 2, and things of that nature. So for the most part, a lot of HTML tags make sense. That means that they're semantic, okay, and that's a word that we'll talk about later. But just know that it just means that things make sense. It's kind of the whole purpose of semantic. That's also the purpose of HTML5. But we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead because I will, and then repeat it later. So, but we'll get there. All right. So the next thing that we want to talk about are links. All right. So we want to link something. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm just going to grab a picture of a puppy. Grab an image. Oh, I used him in a booklet. Oh, just for teaching purposes. He's so cute. Let me get a large image because I know stuff is already blurry. I don't want stuff to be too blurry for you guys. So I'll look for one that's 1024. Oh my gosh. He's just cute with his little paws. I'm going to grab. Oh my gosh. Oh, such decisions. I have to grab this one because that's just adorable. All right, I'm gonna grab this image. I'm gonna put it on my desktop. I just put it on desktop. I'm gonna name it Puppy to make it easy for me to grab it. Puppy.jpg, desktop, choose save. All right. So now I have my puppy. So I have a link. And the reason I got the puppy is because we're about to talk about links. All right. So HTML links are defined with the A tag. The A tag stands for anchor, and that's why it's A. If you're like, hey, I thought all things made sense, and that doesn't make any sense, and you're right, it doesn't. Well, it kind of does. I just thought about that because when you anchor something, you're kind of linking something to it. Like if I anchored text inside of or if I anchored an image to text inside of a text document, I am kind of linking the image in there. So it makes sense, but it's either way, it's used by the word or the letter A instead of L, which is what, you would think if you're talking about link. But anyway, so links, the way links work is you have to have an address to link something to. So if I'm linking something to google.com, which is probably the address I'll use, I have to have the link and then the href attribute. And the href attribute is saying, hey, I am referencing this link at this address right here. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how that works. So left bracket, the A, href, and do equals, quote, quote. I always like to put my quote, quote in first. And then I put my right bracket. And then I'll just say google.com. Then I'm going to close my link. Choose my A. So inside of my href, I'm going to type in a fully qualified URL because this type of link is called an absolute link. That means it's linking away from our website into a different website. So with absolute links, you have to have a fully qualified URL, which means it includes the protocol as well as the directory, as well as the website and directory path. So we have to type in that HTTP or S if it's secure, colon, / www.google.com. Okay, so I have my web address inside of here. So again, this stands for anchor, the A. The href, this is an attribute. And the purpose of attributes are they're used to provide additional information about HTML elements. Okay, so remember, this whole thing, the open tag and the close tag and everything in between, is a part of your HTML element sorry, is a part of your HTML element. All right, so we have our left bracket, our href equals, and then inside of our quotes is the address for HTTP colon / www.google.com or whatever address you guys choose to use. Okay, so this is our actual link. Right here is the text that's going to show, and then it closes, and then the closing link. What's going to happen is we're not going to see any of that information. This text is going to become our link. So whatever in between this, the link tags is what's going to show. A link has to have text in order to be a link. All right. Sorry. My sinuses are just doing a number tonight. So with that being said, let's save that and then let's preview what we've done. Let's check it out. Let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh. And here we are, google.com. So let's click on that, make sure it works. And sure enough, it takes us into the google.com website. All right, we were successful. That is awesome. All right, let's move on. So the next thing that we want to do is we're going to talk about HTML images. Now, HTML images are defined with the IMG tag, which makes sense. Images, IMG, perfect. And the image tag has to have a source tag. It has to have a source that is getting the image from. It has to have alt text, and this is information that is for a viewer who might use the assistive device to enjoy and explore the web page. So it has to read to them what that actual image is. So you want to put like some type of brief statement like a puppy playing in a basket or something like that, if that's what's happening in the picture. So then the reader will read to that person, a puppy playing in the basket, and they're like, oh, okay, this is cool, you know, and they still get to enjoy it even though they can't see the image. So it's so now it's required to have that alt text information in there, and I think that's a good thing. The size and width are also a part of the attribute. Now you can put it in there or you don't have to put it in there. It's very useful if you have it in there though, because you can get the exact size and width, but they're not ones that have to be in there, but that source and that alt have to be there. All right, so that being said, let's do our left bracket, IMG space SRC equals, and then we're going to give it, I named mine. I always like to put both quotes in there because it's just too easy to forget them. And then I can go ahead and put my right bracket in there if I want to as well. So now I can go in and work from within. So I'm going to type puppy.jpg because I know that that's my file name. I'm going to arrow over. I'm going to type my alt equals, I can't remember what the puppy was doing. It's, cute puppy pawing, showing paws. Showing its paws. Okay, so cute puppy showing its paws. That's going to be my alt information. And then I didn't get the height and width. Bad me, bad me. Let's see if I still have Google open though. It'll tell me the height and width of it. Let me go back. Let's see. Height and width of this one. See if I can get that. Wow, that's huge. It's 2560 by 1600. I didn't check that out before I do it. So you know what? I'm just going to do 800 by 600 and hope that it works out well. Now it's going to stretch it. Now if I was actually doing this for a client or for my actual website on the web, I would actually go into Photoshop and figure out what the dimensions should be and either resize it or go from there. But since this is for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go with a guess right now. So I'm going to say width equals, and then I'm going to say 800 And then I'm going to say height equals, quote, quote, and I'm going to say 600. Now we all know that's not the actual height and width, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to save that, and let's go ahead and preview what we've just done. Okay, now if we look at our website, look at that. There's our image. There he is pawing at us. He's a bit skewed. That's okay. 800 by 600 is A-okay to me. Alright, so here's what we have so far. I'm actually going to scale this down even more because it wasn't fitting my window. I'm going to do 400 by 200. I'm going to let it scream at me too. Oh my goodness, it's so skewed. But, I'm sorry. But it does what I needed to do, which is to have an image sitting in here. Notice that Google.com is on the side. We're going to fix that. We'll fix it a little later. All right. Matter of fact, see, this is what being a perfectionist gets you in trouble. Because, all right, that's smaller. I just wanted it smaller. All right, cool. Cool. I'm gonna leave it alone. Doesn't have to be perfect. I have to tell myself that. I kid you not. All right, so we have our links, our images in there. And actually, that's it for this chapter. We're done with this chapter. When we come back, we're going to talk about HTML elements, some nested HTML elements, and just a little bit more information about our tags. So to just be some brief information. All right, with that being said, I'm going to stop this video so that it doesn't go super long, and we'll start up with our next one in a few. Hope you're enjoying it.